Hey Crush, here's a video intended for everybody. I'm gonna put this out in email. This covers a couple of things that are gonna be happening over the next week. According to what I saw this morning via a tweet from the Tri-County Health, it sounds like they're gonna follow the governor's safer at home orders, which means that we will definitely be opening up Saturday. We'll definitely start having classes Monday. And I'll get to that in just one second and how that'll look. First, let's talk about Terry's Marathon Row on Saturday. We have two heats, one at 6 a.m. and one at 9:30 a.m. We only have two teams for each heat as it currently stands. We have like 2 or 3 free agents looking for teams. So if you want to get on a team and you do not have 4 people, let me know. We'll get you a team. Ideally, we have 2 guys and 2 girls. That does not necessarily need to be the case. That is not a requirement. The goal is that each of you row about 10,000 meters, and there's gonna be a cap of 3 hours and 20 minutes, which means you need to average like right around a 220 or something like that, 500 meter pace. So if you have a couple guys in your teams, you should be able to satisfy that pretty easily. I know a lot of guys will probably row their 1,000 meters. If you choose as a team to row 10 1,000 meter rows, or 1,000 meters 10 times, I know a lot of guys should do those 1,000 meters in like 4 minutes or less. So you should easily be under that 220, 500 meter pace and finish in less than 3 hours and 20 minutes. So please come support Terry, especially at the 9:30 class. If we can get some more people there, the 9:30 heat. He's gonna start rowing around 9. It's gonna take him over 3 hours to do it'll take him well over 3 hours to do the whole marathon himself. But obviously more people come, the more energy there is. I think that'll help him a bunch. So even if you don't row, maybe come show up sometime after 9 and just kind of cheer them on for a while. If the 3 hour time commitment is too much or 3.5 hours is too much, maybe just drop in for a little bit and kind of show some support. I'd love to see some people. And then if you're also interested in his charity, I'll put that in the email too, and how you can donate to that. So that is on Saturday. Also on Saturday and Sunday, Saturday from like 6 until 1-ish, 6 until noon, 7 until noon, something like that in the morning time. If you can start bringing back the equipment that you've borrowed, I'll be here pretty much most of that time where I can help take in that equipment and make sure, get it checked off the list, make sure I have accounted for that you brought it back. If you can't come Saturday, I'll be here Sunday from about 10 to noon. Again, Sunday from 10 to noon, bring it back. If none of those times work, let's try to bring it back early next week. With the smaller class sizes, which I'll talk about here in a second, I'm not gonna need it right away, but let's start getting that equipment back in the gym. If you need some kind of exception, something like that, just reach out to me and let me know, and we can work some things out. Lastly, so the classes, the Safer at Home from Governor Polis doesn't make sense to me. If you're a hair salon, tattoo parlor, pet grooming, almost any service, you can have either 10 people or less or 50% to capacity or less. But if you're personal training, you can only have 4 people. So obviously, I don't know what capacity in here is. I mean, we've obviously had 20 people in here before. So I would think 10 people or less would be easy to do, but at least initially we're gonna run with 4 people per class. Now that's not very many. So what I'm gonna do is initially, I'm gonna run classes every 45 minutes, which means I have classes somewhat coincide a little bit. So in the morning it'll be 5 a.m., 5:40, and 6:30 a.m. So that's like one additional class in there. The 6:30 class, I obviously plan on being here till about 7:30. Classes will still last about an hour, but that 15-minute where we have 2 people or 2 classes at the same time, the one class will be finishing working up and the other class will be beginning their warm-up. So there'll be about 15 minutes or so where classes are in here at the same time. Over here on this half of the gym was where, for most cases, where people will warm up. And on the other half over there by the rig is where the class will be finishing up working and getting their workout done. So 5 a.m., 5:45, 6:30. I'll have 2 classes at 8, one at 8 o'clock, one at 8:45. So if you're a morning person but you're not working, or you're working from home, or whatever the case is, you can't make the early morning classes or the 9-ish time frame works, we'll go with 8 and 8:45, and then the afternoon 4, 4:45, 5:30, 6:15. So about every 45 minutes, or it is every 45 minutes. As we get into this is gonna change a bunch. Initially, this will change a bunch. Either A, I can add some classes. We'll see how it goes if we need more classes. B, if this works really well and the staggering classes works pretty well, what I might do is at some point move it to every half hour, like 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30, and then 8, 8:30, 9, 4, 4:30, so on and so forth, every half hour. That way I can get more people in here. We're still a 4 people per personal training service, which is what I'm doing. That's what I'm calling it. On that topic, I've heard of a lot of other gyms are opening up too. I've heard of other CrossFit gyms, yoga studios, jiu-jitsu. I've heard a lot of that stuff. They're gonna start opening back up under the same premise, right? So we might do every half hour. Maybe we'll get lucky and the Safer at Home lifts, and the next phase we're allowed to have 10 people and I can start to grow the classes and then reduce the frequency of classes because we can have more people per class. But it's all gonna change. It's all gonna be pretty fluid, especially for the first week, 2 weeks. So you must reserve your time on Zen Planner. If you're having any troubles with Zen Planner, let me know. Zen Planner will also be the place where if you question where and when class times are, Zen Planner will always be accurate. I keep that up to date 100%. That'll never be out of date. I'm gonna allow 4 people per class, initially with 2 people on a wait list. Please don't RSVP if you're not gonna make it. Especially if you're coming like the 5 a.m., the 5:45. If there's like some doubt, maybe you don't reserve and you wake up in the morning. Because I would hate to have 2 or 3 people or 4 people reserve 5 a.m. and only 2 people show up. And there was 2 other people that wanted to come, but they looked and the class was full, so they don't come. Only RSVP if you're gonna come. Later in the afternoon, that might be easier to decide, right? Because you kind of, it gets way closer to class, you might be able to RSVP. With that being said, that stuff might fill up pretty quick. I'm gonna have like an 18-hour window to allow you to RSVP. You can't RSVP days in advance. I like the idea of a 12-hour RSVP window. I might go with that at 14 hours. That's just kind of maybe late in the day for the early morning classes. But I'm gonna put that out there with some longer RSVP times, not days in advance. You can't reserve 2 or 3 days out. I think it's pretty apparent that you might reserve 3 days out, and then after that 3rd day that you're super sore or something happens, you can't make class, you forgot you reserved, and now somebody can't come to class because you took up a spot. So always pay attention to Zen Planner. If I do move class times, that'll show in Zen Planner. Pay attention to those class times in Zen Planner, and then please only RSVP if you plan on making it. I will have the 2 wait list, so if you want to come and see if somebody doesn't show, more power to you. But initially, we need to feel this out, right? I would hate to have me breaking the rules and have somebody show up from the city and me get a stern warning for breaking the rules or something like that, right? So we want to make the appearance as much as possible that we're following the rules. So it will be 4 people per class initially. I've got some hand sanitizer out, plenty of cleaning. We got the spaces marked off. I'm not going to force anybody to wear a mask. If you want to wear a mask, you're allowed to wear a mask. I'm not going to tell you you can't. I'm not going to tell you you have to. I myself am probably going to have to get one, as much as I don't want to wear one. But the very case, if somebody comes walking from the city, I can quick throw that mask on and say, hey, look, we're following the rules. At least at first blush, they're going to look in and say, hey, they're doing what they're supposed to do, move on to the next business. If they're really going to be patrolling businesses, there's a lot of businesses for them to patrol amongst the city, so especially in the city of Aurora, it's a pretty big city. So more videos to come as far as, opening procedures, that kind of stuff. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. If you have any concerns, please let me know. I want to get us back up and running. I want us to be safe. I want people to feel comfortable coming to the gym. I want to have enough class times and spaces for people. Obviously, that's going to be somewhat limited just because I'm being told what I can do and what I can't do. But if you have any questions, suggestions, concerns, whatever, please let me know. So hopefully I'll see more of you Saturday than are currently signed up. If not, hopefully I'll see a lot of you on Monday. Have a good day, Crush.